Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We join you on what is a summary Thursday here in New York. Really, as the seasons go right from basically late winter to summer in one day. You don't have any spring anymore. Yesterday and today have been, typical summer days. It feels like it. 85 degrees here, as a matter of fact, and sunshine. So it took till June, but it is finally here. A couple things to get to. Uh, and obviously, I will preview the Belmont Stakes Fair, which comes your way Saturday. It is a field of eight, no Triple Crown, but a very interesting squaring off between Derby winner Sovereignty and Preakness winner Journalism, who is remarkably in this field and will run in all three races and had a very hard Preakness. And then Baeza back in there too. So you have the three best horses, 3-year-olds in training here. So that'll make it a very interesting race. Couple of things first, then I'll get back to the Belmont. Number one, I'm sure you've seen Rodgers and the Steelers are finally on the same page. He will get a 1-year contract. And it is a little different for the Steelers. Tomlin has always been in total control. He has always wanted his players to be what he calls volunteers. Okay. He doesn't, he wants team first, but also he's always run his offense in complete complement to his defense, meaning he always has run a run first offense because he has wanted, except for some prolific days with Ben Roethlisberger, but he has wanted to allow that to give his defense enough rest, play a field position game, and let your defense make the plays. Now, the Steelers will always be a defensive team under Tomlin, but it'll be fascinating to see how much they will allow Rodgers to be Rodgers. I don't think you bring Rodgers in and install him at this stage of his life in an offense that doesn't fit him. Okay. The Steelers went in this direction too by bringing in Metcalf. So they went and got themselves a very, very talented, explosive receiver who has been, I think, underrated in his career to be the primary target. You have to protect Rodgers. That is critical. And I think giving him a running game is a very good positive. Plus, he has backs he can throw to there, and he has tight ends he can throw to there, and he will like to, spread the wealth, get rid of the ball quickly, and do the things he does. Plus, he will know that something he didn't have last year with the Jets, and that is that if he puts up 20 points, he's going to win a lot of games because the Steelers defense is going to play defense against most opponents, except some of the real high scoring teams like they might face. Does it make sense? It's an odd fit. If you thought of places where Rodgers would go, and there was this thought that Rodgers was holding out to see if things might unravel for a young quarterback that is now thought of very highly in Minnesota and J.J. McCarthy, but it didn't happen. As a matter of fact, you've been getting raves about him, but I think he might have felt that was a better fit for him in a division he knows, in an offense that is very quarterback friendly. This is a little different situation. It's a very rugged division. Very tough teams, very hard hitting, tough places to play, cold places to play, but that's what he's used to. That's what he's lived with. Now, obviously, their division has changed during Rodgers' tenure, as Minnesota and Detroit have long since before Rodgers got there played in domes. So it's not the same, but it'll be tough to go to certain places late in the year. But Rodgers has played, that's what makes Rodgers' numbers all the more impressive for his career. Is he wasn't playing in a dome. He wasn't playing in a warm weather site where he got good weather in November and December. He was playing in Green Bay. So, I mean, that was incredibly impressive. And I have told you, and I understand what Aaron Glenn was doing, but I thought Rodgers last year, especially in the second half of the year, showed that he had plenty left and could have easily put up 35 touchdown passes last year. Wound up putting up, I believe, 29, top of my head. But he had 7 drops in the end zone. He had multiple other chances to score. And they blew how many leads in the fourth quarter? And sometimes when he had put up some good numbers. It'll be fascinating to see. Obviously, everyone's going to be tuned into the Jets and the Steelers in week 1. Jets can't get away from Rodgers, not yet. They have to deal with him one more time and have him front and center for all of training camp. It's an odd mix, but I think Tomlin, can be more flexible than you think. And I think at this stage, Rodgers can be more flexible than you think. I think all Rodgers wants to do is go out on a really good note. And I think what Tomlin wants to do is see if he can win some playoff games. I mean, we know they don't have losing seasons, but they don't have impressive seasons in a long, long time either. So now you have Rodgers and everything he brings in the league, which I think in the long run is good for the league because, hey, in the NFL, you can never have too many talented quarterbacks. And whether you like him, don't like his act, whatever, think he's old, whatever, this is one of the greatest quarterbacks who ever played in the game. There's no disputing that. None. This guy's going to the Hall of Fame. Canton on roller skates, as we say. Okay? Not even a question. Now, Lindor's the Mets. I don't know what it entails yet. Lindor broke his little toe. If he broke his big toe, you'd have a big issue. But little toe and shortstop could be a little dicey. I don't know. I don't know that yet. And whether they can tape the fourth toe and the little toe together, the pinky toe together. Can they get him in a shoe that's comfortable? Does he have to DH a little bit? I don't know. He's not in the lineup today. Mets are playing the afternoon game. Last I looked, they were leading. It's rare to have Lindor out of the lineup. He's been such a fixture, and he's obviously had a good year. They didn't put him on the list, so he's not on the shelf. Stay today. He said he won't be out long. We'll see. But he did break his pinky toe. We'll see what kind of issue that is for the Mets, who have been, doing good things as we move along. Now, to the Belmont. And I should mention an aside, I know it has gotten no publicity. And really, in a town like ours, you don't even, where the story is who's going to coach the Knicks, you don't even hear word one about it. But the NBA Finals do begin tonight. And yes, Oklahoma City is an overwhelming favorite. If Indiana wins 2 games, they did a good job. That's how I look at it. To me, that's the break-even point. If they win, when you look at a series from an NBA standpoint or a team standpoint or a television network standpoint economically, the key is Game 6. When you get to Game 6, you make a profit. Game 6 and 7 are gravy. That's how it works. 6 and 7 are gravy. 4 are accounted for. 5 pays the bills. 6 and 7 are the bonus rounds. When a series goes that far, everybody makes money. So if you get to Game 6, Bing for the network, Bing for the teams, Bing for the league, everything else. That's how you look at it. I don't think they get there. I think it's probably Thunder and 5. And that's not surprising. The Thunder are in a group of teams that have won each of their playoff games by 12 or more points. They've actually won it by 12.9 points per game. If you look at the teams that have done that, they are some of the biggest teams of all time. The 71-72 Lakers, the 94-95 Bulls, the Kareem, I should say Lou Alcindor, Oscar Robertson Bucks, who's won their championship series in 4 games and embarrassed the then Baltimore Bullets. And I mean embarrassed in as one-sided a final as I ever remember. And I was a very young man when that series was played, but embarrassed. I mean, that's how one-sided it was. They couldn't do anything either end of the floor with then Lou Alcindor, and it was the championship for Oscar Robinson. And if you don't realize, to me, the Oscar Robinson brand has been a little lost in the current NBA fans. They seem to make lists and they don't put Oscar Robinson. I mean, I see lists where Oscar Robinson isn't in the top 10. If you showed that to people who played when he played or coached if you show that to Red Auerbach, if you show that to Red Holtzman, if you showed that to anyone who experienced that, they would laugh in your face. That's how good Oscar Robinson was. So, I mean, was he one of nature's noblemen? No. Was he a great player? Yeah. I mean, he's a guy who actually came in the studio when I interviewed him. And he said, because he believed this, he said, I'm better than Michael Jordan. Now, he didn't dominate the league like Michael Jordan did, but when he played, the big man roamed the earth. Remember, the big men were Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Nate Thurman. Every team had a big, big man, and it was a big man's game. It was a different game. But he actually believed. I asked John Wooden once when I was lucky enough to interview the Wizard of Westwood, and I said, who would you say is the best, most complete basketball player you've ever seen? He said, I was fortunate enough to coach both Bill and Lewis, meaning Walton and Alcindor. But he said the greatest player I've ever seen in my life in basketball is Oscar Robinson. So that's only John Wooden. Let's get to the Belmont. 8 horses, but I would call it a very, very select field because you have the 3 best horses in the 3-year-old year, in the generation, in this race. In Derby winner Sovereignty, who has been at Saratoga training under Hall of Famer Belmont. And I can tell you this because you know that if you follow the program and follow me, you know that Belmont trains our horses. Sovereignty has been, just been working, as they say, lights out. He was working lights out going into the Derby. Now, Churchill is made for him. He is a deep closer. Saratoga is not always good till 8 closes. It is while Churchill is a closes track, Saratoga is a speed favoring track. Now, luckily for Sovereignty, there is not lone speed in this race. There are 2 speeds in this race. Number 1 will be Bob Baffert from the 3 with Rodriguez. Now, Rodriguez has been lurking the entire 3-year-old campaign. He ran in the San Felipe and lost to journalism. He has hit the board every race he's ever ran. He is a straight speed horse. He had a quarter crack. It means a crack in the hoof. He won the Wood Memorial which was not a great prep, but still a major prep, and he won it with a real fast racehorse time. He ran over 100 by her. He ran a very speedy, snappy race, controlled it every step of the way, won it by 3.5 lengths. Was going to be definite speed in the Derby in a race that was laced with speed. He didn't get back. He wanted to go to the Preakness. He didn't have time. He's here. He has trained well. Bob Baffert is exceedingly dangerous in this spot. This horse, if he were the lone speed, I think I would pick him. Only because single speed that has quality is deadly. Because you put Mike Smith on him, back down the pace, you're not going to catch him. Now, there is another speed horse in this race. You might have seen Crudo, son of Justify, running the Sir Barton. Now, the Sir Barton's a $100,000 stake. It is not a grade 1 like the Belmont or the Preakness or the Derby. But this is Todd Pletcher. The horse is a speed horse. The horse is improving. He has to get a lot faster than he's been, though. But the question isn't that, because I don't think he's going to win this race. I think the question is he going to sit a chilly second and let Rodriguez just control the speed? If he does, I'm telling you, Rodriguez is going to be on the board. Or is he going to try and make his presence felt? That's one of the keys to the race. The other key to the race can come from, it really has to come, I think, from Pratt, who I think is as good a rider as there is in the world right now, and Baeza. Baeza ran a brilliant Derby. He finished third. He was a jump from finishing ahead of Journalism. He got a really tough trip. He had to come way off the pace. That is not his game. He is a stalker, someone who can sit very close to snappy fractions. Now, here's your stalker. Baeza. So I see it. Rodriguez in front. Crudo second. Baeza next. Journalism next. Now, Sovereignty's back in the pack. Now, he's not going to have a bad trip. There's only 8 horses in the race. It makes it easier for him to maintain connection to the race and move when he wants to move. But here's the key. If Crudo lets Rodriguez go to a soft half, the other jocks, Sovereignty can't do anything about that. He's not going to move too early, because if he does, he'll flatten in the stretch, even as good as he is. He has to wait. But Baeza and Journalism, especially Baeza, could be sitting a length or 2 or 3 off Rodriguez based on how quick he's going. And then if it was a soft half, he says, you're not stealing this race. And away he goes. And he charges up. And now that's the second way that this race gets an honest run at a Sovereignty. So there's 2 ways. One is Crudo goes out and says to Rodriguez, I'm going to fight you for the lead. I don't think that Pletcher will do that. I don't think that John Velasquez would do that. You got 2 of the great old-time guys, 2 guys I've known forever, Smith and Velasquez, on those horses. They're not going to burn each other out. They're too smart for that. They're in an 8-horse field. They know speed is big time. Crudo's only race is to sit in the pocket and make sure that he's close enough and hope that Rodriguez fails and he can inherit a lead and go, or that Rodriguez has nothing because of the injury and he can just get a soft lead himself. I think that's why he's in the race. He's borderline belong in the race. Rodriguez belongs in this group. Now, Baeza, I think, makes it honest. He's going to say, here I come. And Baeza, I think, will be close to the pace, not where he was last time when he was, 15 lengths out of it. That's not going to happen here. He is going to be close to the pace. I think journalism will be closer to the pace. They both have very big moves or brushes, as we call them, which means they'll make these 3/8 jaunts that'll be electrifying. You're going to first get one from Baeza, then you're going to get one from journalism, and then you're going to get the big boy in the back making his move, and that's Sovereignty. As this unfolds, the question is, does Rodriguez have the ability to upset the apple cart? Now, the other horses in the race, Hill Road, Chad Brown's horse from the rail. If things fell apart, he could maybe get third on a good day. He's not an exacta factor. Okay. Uncaged, Pletcher's other horse. Listen, nicely bred, Windstar, Rapoli. These guys got a million horses. They want to be in the action. This horse doesn't belong in a race. And if it didn't say Pletcher and it didn't say Windstar and Rapoli, you wouldn't even pay attention to it. This horse doesn't belong here. He finished up the track in the Peter Pan. He's not going to win this race. Now, Heart of Honor is the horse, folks, that I gave you as I was trying to hit a long shot in the Preakness when I gave you the winner and said, listen, journalism's going to win this race. I didn't know he was going to have the trouble he had, but he's going to win this race. And maybe Heart of Honor just sits and comes flying late for second. That was the young lady with her father as the trainer, Jamie Osborne. Okay. And she rides the horse. Her father trains. Now, that horse in the Preakness was very fractious in the gate. He did not like the noise. He didn't handle it well. He didn't break well, but he got taken all the way back. It looked like he was just going to languish behind the field. And all of a sudden in the stretch, he started picking up horses. Now, he made up 7 lengths in the stretch and he passed 4 horses. Is that an indicator that he could make a big move here? I don't think so with this group because the big 3 are really, I think, 3 top flight championship level horses. I think any one of them could go on to be a champion. Journalism has shown you incredible toughness and durability to be able to run the race he ran in the Preakness, to win that and come back and run the dance. He has danced all 3 dances. Does this one take something out of him? I think human nature, it has to take a little. Plus, I think Baeza might be as good as either one of the other 2. And the other 2 are terrific. And Sovereignty could be really special in the hands of Belmont. He was great in the Derby. He deserved to win it. I was hoping Baeza would jump up and get second because that would have been a lot better exacted than I'm not complaining about winning. But I would have loved to have. I had as much money on a Baeza exactor as I did on a journalism exactor. So I would have loved to see Baeza at whatever he was, 16, 15, what was he? 1380 to 1 in the Derby. Now they sent Baeza back to California after the race. John Sheriffs, who is from around here, but has been out in California training for a long time, is a great trainer. He does not fool around. I told you in the Derby, if his horse is going to be entered in this Derby, he means business. He was on the AE. I said, if he's hanging around, he means business. He meant business. He could have won that Derby. Now, he has trained terrifically, and he's back. He's back because he means business again. So I think we get Rodriguez, Do I have a little bit of a fear that Rodriguez gets things his own way and doesn't stop? I've seen that a million times at Saratoga. And watch that rail. It could be golden, and Rodriguez could be on it, and Mike Smith knows exactly what to do. So I would use Rodriguez, who will be the fourth choice. I would use him in the exacta. I think the one that's going to take the toughest of this is journalism, because he's going to be sandwiched. You're going to have Rodriguez, then you're going to have Baeza, then you're going to have journalism, and then you're going to have Sovereignty running up the backs. I think the one who's going to take the worst of that is journalism. Plus, I think it has to have taken a little out of him, at least. Otherwise, he's brilliant. And I think he is really good in this race. Now, I wish I could offer you a bomb shot that would get you a big price here. I'm just going to try and see if I can finish with a win and sweep the Triple Crown. That's all I can do. Rodriguez could win this race if he gets a soft lead. Baeza can win this race. Journalism can obviously win this race, and he might even be the favorite. He is morning line, and Sovereignty, I think, deserves to be the favorite and will be the favorite of post time in this race. I have great respect for Sovereignty. I know he's training brilliantly. Mott is as good as anybody ever bringing a horse up to a big race. Okay. Journalism is in terrific hands. Baeza is in terrific hands. Rodriguez is in terrific hands. You're talking about 4 all-world trainers. You're talking about big-time jockeys, and you're talking about big-time talent. This is a really good race. I see it. Sovereignty, Baeza, journalism. But what I'm telling you is, I'm going to put them down that way because I think they're 1, 2, 3, and they're the best horses. I don't think the others. Heart of Honor, I would use them in the Superfecta. Hill Road, I would use them in the Superfecta for fourth. For fourth, I would use Hill. I would use Hill Road and Heart of Honor third and fourth if you're playing Superfectas and Trifectas. I would play Sovereignty over Baeza, Sovereignty over Journalism, Sovereignty over Rodriguez. I would play all them for second. You can have combinations. You're not going to get. You might want to limit because you're not going to get a huge price here. You can bet the exactas. The triples you might want to go slow on because they're not going to be a big price with those horses because everyone's going to use the same 4 horses. The 1, 2, 3 I'm giving you is 1, Sovereignty, 2, because I think Baeza is going to make the race. 2, Baeza. 3, Journalism. I am not playing Journalism. I will play Sovereignty over all 3 horses, over Rodriguez, over Baeza, over Journalism. I will use Hill Road and Heart of Honor. I will not use Uncaged or Crudo at all. I am telling you that I will reverse Baeza, who I think will be third choice. I will use Baeza over Sovereignty. I will not use Journalism over Sovereignty. I do not think he's going to win this race. I think Sovereignty is the winner. I think Baeza second, but I think Baeza can win the race. I don't think they will let Rodriguez go. And I think the one who won't let Rodriguez go, even if he gets the soft first half mile, is Baeza. And he will run up and go to his throat latch and take him right from there. And they will run a super quick next 4 furlongs into the mile. And then here come the big fellas for that last quarter mile. I think it's going to be a great race. I'm going Sovereignty 1, Baeza 2, Journalism 3. I would play Baeza over Sovereignty because I have been of the opinion that Baeza might be every bit as good as all these horses. And I would not rule him out to be the best horse by the time they have the Breeders' Cup Classic. He's going to be handier, meaning that he can win from back. He can win from stalking. he can run anywhere. Sovereignty is a one-run dead closer. He needs a pace in front of him. That's always a problem. It's very useful in Kentucky. It's not useful in Saratoga and a lot of other tracks. Do not discount Baeza in this race. I think he's going to run very big. So, but I'm going to go Sovereignty 1, Baeza 2, and Journalism 3. I'm going to go Heart of Honor 4 if you want the cold superfecta. All right. I would also use Rodriguez in that 4th spot and in the 3rd and 4th spots in case he holds on. I don't think they'll let him win this race. I think that Crudo might let him go because he knows his only race is not to battle. But I think Baeza and Pratt will get up there and mix things up early, a half mile into the race, and that will create the run that we want in the last quarter mile of the race. This is going to be a wonderful race, and these 3 horses especially, Sovereignty, Journalism, and Baeza, are wonderfully talented 3-year-olds. I mean, they are top flight, championship caliber 3-year-olds. Enjoy the race.